Yo, what is going on, guys? Today I'm going to be talking about the NBA slate on DraftKings for Monday, January 1st. It is the first day of the new year, so Happy New Year to everybody watching this video. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Going to go through each position on today's 4-game slate, talking about some players that we want to target today. I'll go through each position, hit on some guys I like, and just hit on guys that really stand out to me on this slate. Before we get started, make sure you guys drop a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't already. I do upload these videos daily, make NFL videos as well. I'm going to be making MLB videos when MLB starts. So you're going to want to make sure you're subscribed with notifications on so that way you'll never miss out on any of my new videos. But starting off at point guard today on this 4-game slate. Up top here we got Damian Lillard, 8,300 going up against the Bulls. Lillard is questionable as I'm recording this video on Sunday night. It's about 8 o'clock Eastern Time Sunday night. Even if Lillard plays today, I doubt I'm going to be paying up for him on this slate at 8,300. I think there are better options that we can go to on this slate. The Timberwolves are going up against the Lakers, so I think we're definitely going to want to have some exposure to guys like Jimmy Butler, Karl-Anthony Towns. Don't think Dame Lillard's a guy I'm really trying to force in today. Just don't think I'm going to be paying up for point guard in general on this slate. You got Kyle Lowry under Lillard. He's going up against the Bucks. That is a tough matchup. Bucks a really good defensive team against the point guard. Lowry does seem a little bit too cheap at just 7,400. I'd say if you're playing him in like a cash game format, you're going to need about 36, 37 DK points from him. He can obviously get there, but I don't think Lowry's the guy I'm trying to force in either today. Just think there are options that we can go to at point guard that are a little bit cheaper, like in this mid-tier. I think my favorite option, if I was to pay up here, would probably be Elfrid Payton at 7,100 going up against the Nets. This is a game I'm definitely going to have a ton of exposure to. This Orlando-Brooklyn game should be very high scoring. Obviously, we want it to be competitive if we're going to stack up this game, but should be played at a very fast pace, should be high scoring, and just a really good spot for Elfrid Payton. We know this guy has a ton of upside. He's a great tournament play every night. When these teams did face off earlier this year, Payton did get injured in this game. That's why he only played 14 minutes. So we didn't really get to see how he performed against Brooklyn since he only played 14 minutes. I think this is a great spot for Payton. I like him in tournaments today. I think he's a good tournament play just because he has so much upside. He can put up a triple-double, can put up those big games where he goes off for 50, 60 DK points. So my favorite point guard if I'm paying up today is probably Elfrid Payton if we're just talking about tournaments. I think the cash play, if you're paying up here, would probably be Chris Dunn. I know Dunn's been playing really well lately. Pretty good matchup. If Dame Lillard plays, he's not a very good defender. I think Dunn's the cash play if you're going to pay up at point guard. But definitely Elfrid Payton in tournaments is a guy I like if we're talking about the guys that are over 7K. But looking in this mid-tier, I think there are good options here. Now, as I'm recording this video Sunday night, we don't have any news on Lonzo Ball if he's going to return. I believe the Lakers played on Sunday. I believe they're on a back-to-back. I don't think Ball played on Sunday. Obviously, if he is out, Jordan Clarkson, even with the price increase, I think we still want to consider Jordan Clarkson today. 6,700 going up against the Timberwolves. Good matchup. I think this is another game that can be high-scoring. Just hope it stays competitive. But Clarkson, looking at him, he's been playing well with Lonzo Ball out. Just in the last 3 games, we've been getting a lot of minutes. 35, 38, 35 minutes the last 3 games with Lonzo out. 42, 33, and 38 DraftKings points. When the Lakers did face off against Minnesota about a week ago, Jordan Clarkson put up 42 DraftKings points with Lonzo out in that game. So Clarkson, even with the price increase, this guy just gets the job done when Lonzo's out. He gets the minutes. I think he's still worth that price tag. We can go to him at 6,700 if Lonzo's out today. If Lonzo plays, we're obviously not going to be playing Clarkson at 6,700, and I doubt I'm going to play Lonzo at 6,900 unless we get news that he's not going to be restricted. But he hasn't played in like 2 weeks, so I'd imagine Lonzo is going to have a restriction if he plays. But looking for other options in this 5K range, I think we got 2 really good options here. If injuries go our way, obviously we know Jeff Teague's going to be out for a while, so Tyus Jones is a guy we definitely have to consider. Even with the price increase, Tyus Jones is another guy that when he gets minutes, the guy's going to produce. Played 35 minutes their last game against Milwaukee with Jeff Teague out, put up 28 DraftKings points. That was a tough matchup. The Bucks are solid against defensively against the point guard. Much better matchup here going up against the Lakers. Really like Tyus Jones today at 5,600. I think he's a good cash game play with no Jeff Teague, even with the price increase. Still think we can go to Tyus Jones. And another guy at that same price range for 100 less. If Dame Lillard does not play today, obviously Shabazz Napier, a good option at 5,500. He's also seen a price increase. This guy's just been playing so well lately. I still think he's a little bit too cheap at 5,500. You look his last 4 games with Lillard out, Shabazz has put up 33, 39, 35, and 45 DraftKings points. Have been very consistent. The minutes have been very consistent. 37, 35, 34, and 36 minutes the last 4 games with Lillard out. This game is the last game on the slate. Hopefully we have news by then if Lillard's going to play. If we don't have any news and Lillard's still in the air, you can definitely roll out Napier in tournaments. Obviously, if Lillard's out and we get that news before lock, the Napier is a great cash game play today at point guard. That's one of the reasons I really don't like to pay up here, because you got good options in this mid-tier. Tyus Jones, Shabazz Napier, I think both of those guys are good plays. Clarkson is 6,700 if you want to play him. If we get news that Lonzo is going to be out, I think he's a good option at 6,700. But if we're trying to find value at point guard, want to go sub 5K, want to try and find some value at this position, I doubt this is a position I'm probably going to be saving at just because these 5K options make a lot more sense. I don't think I'm going to be paying like 4,900 for Brogdon or 4,800 for Josh Hart, when I can just get Napier, Tyus Jones for just a little bit more. So don't think I'm going to be going cheap at point guard on this slate. I think this is a position you want to go to the mid-tier, or you can pay up here. But moving on to shooting guard, looking at shooting guard today, up top here we've got Jimmy Butler, 8,700 going up against the Lakers. Jimmy Butler's pretty expensive, but I think he's definitely a guy we have to consider paying up for. Great matchup against the Lakers. And even with the price increase, Butler still has the upside to pay off this price, especially given the matchup. He did put up 44 DraftKings points against this team when they played just about a week ago. So I think Jimmy Butler at 8,700, a guy we have to consider paying up for. I think there is an option at another position that's like 1K cheaper that I really like today, especially for tournaments. But Jimmy Butler, obviously a good option. It's a short slate. He's in a great spot against the Lakers. He is a guy we definitely want to consider paying up for. You do have DeMar DeRozan for 1K less. I prefer Butler. Just find the 1K, get up to Butler. Doubt I'm going to be paying up for DeRozan on this slate. Same with CJ McCollum. I know he's been playing pretty well lately with Lillard out, but it's 7,300. Don't think he's a guy I'm trying to force in. He's had some solid games lately with Lillard out. Didn't have that good of a game against Atlanta, where he only put up 29 DK points. Did put up 50 against the Sixers with Lillard out. Obviously, if he's out again, that's a boost for McCollum, but I don't think I want to pay 7,300 for him. I think at shooting guard, if you're paying up at this position, Jimmy Butler definitely my favorite option here. Just go up top to him. But if we want to go to the mid-tier at shooting guard, you got Clarkson at 6,700, who I talked about at point guard. I think he's a good play in that mid-tier. I don't know if I want to go to Brandon Ingram at 6,500. He's probably going to see plenty of Jimmy Butler defense. Jimmy Butler's a really good defender. Doubt I want to go there. I didn't talk about Dinwiddie at point guard. You could play him as shooting guard, but his minutes have been a little inconsistent lately. They haven't been very high. He's still pretty expensive at 6,200. You look at his last 3 games, 26, 22, and 29 minutes. Just hasn't been playing well lately. This is a great matchup against the Magic. You can definitely go to Dinwiddie in tournaments, but since the minutes have been inconsistent, I doubt I'll be rolling him out in cash, but Dinwiddie is a really good tournament play today. Just a lot of guys from that Orlando-Brooklyn game I think are very interesting. That's a game we definitely want to have a lot of exposure to today. And if we want to go to this 5K range at shooting guard, I know Karis LeVert's been playing really well lately. I believe he's had some solid games just the last few days. Did put up 37 against Miami, 39 against New Orleans. LeVert does have a lot of upside. He doesn't get a lot of minutes because he plays off the bench. He never really sees like 35, close to 40 minutes. So he's sort of a risky play for cash just because the minutes aren't there. But when he's on the court, he will grab rebounds, he will score the ball, he will dish out assists. Definitely a good tournament play, fast-paced game. I think we can go to Karis LeVert here, especially if you are trying to save a little bit of salary at shooting guard. You do have Tyus Jones right there in salary, who I think I would prefer if you're playing Jones at shooting guard. I prefer him over LeVert. But LeVert is definitely a GPP option you can go to. You got Andrew Wiggins at that same price as Tyus Jones. Don't think I'm going to be on Wiggins, even though he seems a little bit too underpriced. He's been consistent, but still hasn't been paying off this price tag, really. In his last 3 games, he's put up 29, 29, and 29 DK points. So he's been really consistent lately. We know the minutes are going to be there for Wiggins. Pretty much all the Timberwolves starters are going to play heavy minutes. But I think I probably prefer Tyus Jones over him if we're just talking about shooting guards. I prefer Jones over Wiggins, but Wiggins, you can play him at small forward. We can definitely play Wiggins at small forward, so I think that might make some sense. But if we're just talking about Jones versus Wiggins, I prefer Jones there. You obviously got Napier at shooting guard if you want to play him. He's a great option today if Lillard's out. But trying to find value at shooting guard, if we want to go cheap here, I don't see a lot of cheap options I'm absolutely in love with. I don't think we can play Hazonia now that the Magic are starting to get a little bit more healthy. Aaron Gordon's back. Fournier's back. I don't think we want to go to Hazonia. The minutes have really dropped for him. Don't think we want to go there at shooting guard. I think if we are just looking for a straight-up punt here, I think we can consider Evan Turner at 3,800 if Dame Lillard is out. Turner's been getting more consistent minutes lately. The minutes have been up. He's never a guy that's going to produce like a ton of fantasy points, but he'll get minutes if Lillard's out, and he will be relied on a little bit more for scoring. Did put up 20 DraftKings points in their last game. Don't think Turner's like a guy I'm locking in today. I think shooting guard's probably a position you want to go to this mid-tier if you want to play Jones, Wiggins, even Napier here. Got good options as well. Also in this mid-tier like Clarkson. I think Spencer Dinwiddie could be a tournament play. Just don't think shooting guard's a position we really want to go cheap at. So moving on to small forward and looking at this position today, we do have one stud on this slate over 10K, and that is Giannis at 11K going up against the Raptors. Don't think Giannis is a guy I'm forcing in today. Obviously, he's really the only stud on the slate, so we have to consider him. But you just look at his last 4 games, 44, 45, 38, 50 DraftKings points. Hasn't really been paying off his price. At 11K, you want about 55, close to 60 DK points from him to really return value on that salary. We know Giannis can do that, but at this price, I don't think he's a guy I'm going to be trying to force in my lineups today. Really like this option. It's nearly 3K less than him. Aaron Gordon at 7,900 going up against the Nets. Love Aaron Gordon today, especially for tournaments. We know how much upside this guy has. When he did play Brooklyn this year, or earlier this year, he put up 65 DraftKings points against them. Obviously, Elfrid Payton got hurt in that game, so that kind of helped. But Gordon, this guy still has a ton of upside. Showed it in their last game against Miami, putting up 55 DraftKings points, 39 points, 7 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 blocks in 36 minutes. This is such a great spot for Aaron Gordon. The guy has so much upside. I think he's a great tournament play, probably one of my favorite plays on this slate. Really expensive at 7,900. That does seem like a lot to pay for him, but this guy has 50, 60 point upside. This could be one of those monster games for AG. Love him today at small forward. Definitely think he is a guy I'm trying to pay up for if I look to pay up at this position. You got guys that are cheaper like Kyle Kuzma going up against Minnesota. Kuzma's probably going to see some Jimmy Butler defense as well. When these teams did play earlier this year, about a week ago, Kuzma did have a nice game of 48 DraftKings points. He has been struggling lately, only putting up 24 and 22 DK points his last 2 games. But the price tag started to drop. Really, one of the reasons I like Kuzma is because of the price dropping down to 6,900. I think I prefer just to find the 1K, get up to Aaron Gordon. But if you need the salary, if you need to save, Kuzma at 6,900, I think he is a good play in that mid-tier at small forward. Other options in this mid-tier, don't really see a lot of guys here that I'm absolutely in love with that I haven't already talked about. You got LeVert and Wiggins at 56, 5,700. Evan Fournier you could go to in tournaments, but I think Aaron Gordon's the guy I'm trying to force in from Orlando. Fournier has played pretty well since coming back from injury. His last 2 games putting up 32 and 37 DK points. Obviously a great matchup for Fournier. I believe he played pretty well against this team. In 2 games this year against Brooklyn, he's averaged 46 DraftKings points, so he's played really well against Brooklyn this year. Could go to Evan Fournier if you want to play him at shooting guard or small forward. He could be a play at 5,900, but like I said, if I'm getting exposure, if I'm trying to force in a guy from Orlando, I think it's going to be Aaron Gordon today, but you can go to Fournier for 2K less. He does make sense at 5,900. And then if we're trying to find value at small forward and we want to save money here, right now I'm not seeing a lot of value plays I'm absolutely in love with at this position. You could play a guy like Al-Farouq Aminu. He's been seeing heavy minutes lately. His last 2 games, he's played 31 minutes in both of those games, 13, 23 DraftKings points, so the production's been inconsistent. If Lillard's out, you would think Aminu's going to be relied on a little bit more for scoring. Obviously, guys are going to have to step up if Lillard is out. Could go to Aminu. I don't think he's like a great value play on the slate, but he does make sense. Good matchup against the Bulls. He could be a play at 4,500. You got Larry Nance there, but I think he's too risky. I think if I'm getting exposure to the Lakers, if I'm getting exposure to their bigs, much rather have Julius Randle at power forward. We'll talk about him. Don't think Nance is a guy I want to go to. His minutes have just started to trend down lately. He hasn't been seeing the heavy minutes that we want. Usually if we're going to roster Larry Nance, we want him to play at least like 20, 25 minutes, and he hasn't been getting there lately. So I don't think we want to go to him. Just don't see a lot of value at small forward either. I think the next 2 positions, power forward and center, are the positions we can find some value. So moving on to power forward, you obviously got Giannis up top here. You got Aaron Gordon, who I think is a great play today if you want to pay up for him at power forward. You could go to Mirotic in some tournaments today at 6,600. The Bulls are playing at home. We know Mirotic plays very well at home. He shoots the ball well at home. He's averaged 35 DK points this year at home, whereas on the road, only 27 DK points. We know how much upside this guy has. In his last game against the Pacers, he only played 28 minutes, but still put up 43 DraftKings points. Mirotic in tournaments, I think, makes sense. If you want to go to him at 6,600 in that mid-range, I think he does make sense as a play there. But I think power forward, if we're not going to play like Aaron Gordon or Giannis or Kuzma here, I think we can save some money here, go to this 5K range. Bismack Biyombo at 5,600, a guy I really like today. Going up against Brooklyn, this is a great matchup. The Nets really struggle to defend centers, which is obviously the position Bismack plays. He is power forward eligible, but he usually plays center when he's on the court. Brooklyn really struggles to defend centers. They just struggle to defend bigs in general. And with Vooch out the last 3 games, Bismack has crushed every game. The minutes have been very consistent, 30, 33, and 33 minutes the last 3 games, 27, 32, and 33 DraftKings points. Great matchup against Brooklyn. Still think Bismack's a little bit too cheap. He's one of the good value plays on this slate. I think him, Tyus Jones, Napier, if Lillard's out, I think those 3 guys are going to be really good value options we're going to want to consider today. So I like Bismack as a cheap power forward or center option at 5,600. You also got Julius Randle at 5K if you want to consider him for value. I know he started for their last game against the Clippers. He played 29 minutes in that game, which is very promising. That's something that we like to see. We like to see it when Randle gets minutes. He put up 33 DraftKings points in 29 minutes. If Randle starts again, if we get that news before lock, he could be a great value play at 5K. You can play him at center, so you could probably play like Bismack at power forward and then play Randle at center. I think that makes a ton of sense. Randle did play only 19 minutes against Minnesota when they played a week ago, but still put up 26 DraftKings points. They're obviously going to need some bigs to play minutes. Going to need Randle, Larry Nance. These guys are going to have to play minutes to guard Karl-Anthony Towns and Taj Gibson. So Randle at 5K could be a great value play, especially if we get news before lock that he's going to continue to start. And I think that's probably my favorite value play if we're just talking about value at power forward, Bismack and Randle. Don't see any guys that are 5K and under that I'm absolutely in love with. So moving on to center and talking about center today, looking at this position, do have a guy up top here that I think is a great play today if you can fit him in. Karl-Anthony Towns at 9,700 going up against the Lakers. Cat seems really expensive, but this is a great matchup. The Lakers are not a good defensive team against the center, and Cat did put up 47 DraftKings points against this team earlier this year. It does seem like a lot to pay, nearly 10K for Cat. You need almost 50 DraftKings points, if not more than that, from him to really return value on this salary. So I don't think he's a guy we're going to in cash games at 9,700. But in tournaments, this is a great spot for Cat to put up a 50, 60 burger. He could be a play if you want to pay up a center. I think he makes a ton of sense today. Probably my favorite center up top, obviously. But this is a position we can look to save some money. You got good options like in this 5K range like Bismack, who you can play here if you want to play him. I think Jonas Valanciunas is in a really sneaky spot. I think he could be a really good tournament play today at 5,300. The minutes lately have been very consistent for Valanciunas, which is something we like to see. He's been playing about mid-20s in minutes, 24, 25, 20, and 22 minutes his last 4 games. And as long as this guy gets minutes, he's going to produce for you 20, 35, 20, and 33 DraftKings points. Great matchup today against the Bucks. We know they really struggle to defend bigs. This is a great spot for Valanciunas. I really like him in some tournaments today. He's obviously a risky play because he's never going to play 30 minutes, but when this guy gets minutes, if he gets 25 minutes today, he could put up 40 DraftKings points against the Bucks, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. So I think he makes sense as a value option. You also got Julius Randle there at 5K, who I think is a great value play today, especially if we get news that he's going to continue to start. You can go to John Henson as a sub 5K value play at 4,500 going up against the Raptors. They do struggle defensively against the center. Henson's been pretty consistent lately. The minutes have been consistent. 28, 21, 28, and 29 minutes the last 4 games. 23, 22, 21, and 36 DraftKings points. So if you also are looking for another center that's cheap that could be a play, I think John Henson at 4,500 makes a lot of sense. I'd much rather have Randle, probably much rather have Bismack. But if you need the savings, if you really like your lineup and you've got 4,500 left for a center, and obviously John Henson I think makes a ton of sense just to plug him in there if you're looking for a cheap value play. But that's really what I'm seeing at center. It's really what I'm seeing in this position. You obviously got guys like Nurkic, Taj Gibson, who I didn't really talk about, but I don't think those are guys I'm trying to force in today. I think if you're not going to pay up for Towns here, I think you go to like Bismack, Valanciunas, Randle, John Henson, maybe even Serge Ibaka. He is listed as out, but that was because he was suspended last game. He is expected to play. He could be an option at 5,500. But I think that's really it for center today, guys. I think that's really it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do really appreciate it. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe as well if you haven't already. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below, or just hit me up on Twitter at the DFS_GOAT, and I'll try and get back to you as soon as I can. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, she shaking fast. Yeah, she dropping slow. Huh? What? Yeah, neck on fro. Whoa. whoa, 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 whoa.